Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of What You Got Cooking with Alexis here at Running on Disney. So this week we are making spinach puffs from the Emperor's New Groove. There are a lot of renditions of how to make this specific dish. However, for this purpose, we made Binging with Babish, his recipe. So obviously, if you have a specific recipe that you already want to try, go for that, whatever you feel comfortable with, but we are using his. And I'm going to give a little spoiler alert, it turned out very well. So as you can see, I'm showing you all of the different ingredients that I used. So obviously, if you have a specific type of feta cheese or cream cheese, or if you prefer organic over regular spinach, that is a choice that you have to make as well. And then that was the only type of puff pastry that Walmart had at the time, so that is what we went with. And now you're going to roughly chop up 2 to 3 cups of spinach. I did go ahead and I took the stems off. I thought it would look better and not be as stringy when you're eating it, but that is a personal choice. And because we're going to be sauteing this, it's pretty much going to boil down to nothing. So if it looks like a lot, and it was because I think I used my second largest mixing bowl to fill that up with, it's not much when it boils down. Okay, so we are going to set that aside. There it is, all nice and kind of pretty. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to take my spinach, my chopped minced onion, and the dill, and we're going to take that over to the stove and saute it all together. Okay, so I am browning that onion. I personally use avocado oil. It's a little bit healthier, and we're trying to make healthy choices with our eating. But obviously, oil or whatnot is entirely your choice. You do want to make sure that you don't overdo it though, otherwise it'll lose its flavor. Now we went ahead and added in that crushed garlic. Again, making sure that everything is nice and caramelized. I did not realize exactly how hard it was to crush garlic. It took quite a bit of effort out of hubby to get all that together. And then we're just going to go and mix those in together, get those flavors associated with one another. And there I added the dill, and I just barely allowed the dill to get to know the rest of the flavors per Binging with Babish's recipe. Yeah. So then we went in and added the spinach. I am the messiest cook. Really and truthfully, I am the messiest cook, as you can see, because it's all over the place. And there you can see, it pretty much cooks down to nothing. So all of that filled my pan, and now we're pretty much left with nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stir that a little bit and set it to the side, and we're going to make the cheese filling part of the spinach puff. So it calls for 4 ounces. So we just cut the 8-ounce package in half. He's very carefully peeling everything apart. And then squeezing that out. That's going to be gross when it comes out in a second, isn't it? Lovely. Okay, but there you go. And you can't hear it, but I'm in the background saying, no, don't use your finger. Okay, and then we have the feta cheese. Gosh, off the top of my head, and I don't have the recipe in front of me, but it calls for about half a cup. So we just said that was about half a container. And it did turn out pretty well. So I'd probably just eyeball it again. Again, I'll have all of the exact measurements down below, as well as the link to the actual recipe. And then we're going to go ahead and add that spinach and dill and garlic and onion mix to it to give it that actual spinach puffness. Oh, and you can kind of make out Shelby in the background. That's one of our babies. So, okay, now that we're done with that, he's going to flour up our work area to make sure that the pastry puff doesn't stick to the table. And we're going to unroll it and lay it out. And then roll it out with a rolling pin to try to give you a little bit more and also make it thinner and fluffier, I guess, when it goes into the oven to bake. Okay, and then we're gonna cut it. Now, typically you can use a pastry roller knife thing, kind of like a pizza cutter, to get all that. And then his recipe calls for about 2 tablespoons of the spinach mix. Again, we just kind of eyeballed it. We were using just a regular, like, eating spoon. We didn't get anything fancy out. But however much you think you can handle, I don't know what you want to call it, pinching together. Sure, we'll go with that. Okay, and now we take an egg yolk and we brush the egg on 2 sides of the puff pastry in order to create a nice little glue to seal it shut. Now we're making them look like cornucopias. That's what Babish did, so I decided to copy it exactly. Obviously, you can seal them however you want, and then you are going to seal them and place them on the cooking sheet with parchment paper. Let me tell you, you can see how much cooking we don't do at this house because I used wax paper and my oven started smoking. You can see he's folding it into nice little cornucopia looking shells. Sure, we'll go with that. Shells sound good. He's gonna pinch those together real nicely, pinching with the sides that we put that egg wash on. Okay, so I'm taking those aside and he's setting up some more. And I am putting those in the refrigerator for 10 minutes. It's supposed to help everything set and it's supposed to make a more flaky puff pastry at the end. Okay, so now that they're out, we're gonna take another egg. And did I use a whole egg for this one? I can't. I used a whole egg, and we're just going to brush the sides of them. And then at this point, your oven should already be preheated to 450. If it's not, I'm sorry. And now we're done. That is what they turned out like. I have to say, I think they look and tasted amazing. I loved them. Hubby gave them his stamp of approval. And my parents gave them their stamp of approval. Although it's not really that shocking because my mom likes spinach artichoke dip, so they were gonna like it anyway. But yeah, that's how you make Kronk's spinach puffs. I really hope you guys enjoyed this second episode of What You Got Cooking. If you did and you want to stick around and watch some more, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification icon to be notified anytime I upload new content. I should be filming and releasing kind of like a life update here within the next couple of days, so be sure to check that out when I get it. Leave a comment down below if you end up trying this recipe and how well it worked out for you. Anyway, guys, I hope you had a great time watching this video, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. Bye!